I'm Sam Bailey and I'm a self-shooting producer-director. Now when you start out self-shooting actuality, it can all seem a bit daunting, especially on location when there's so much to consider. But here are a few tips to help you cover a sequence. Good day, buddy. Good to see you. Today I'm filming with Country Files' Adam Henson. I need to get a few sequences of him working on his farm. Even when filming actuality, it's worth having a bit of a recce just to help get yourself in the frame of mind of what's going to happen where. Are they all going to come through? Where are they going to come to, do you think?
Yeah, they're going to come through the gate and run this way, so you've got one chance at this.
Okay. So I had a good chat with Adam and a bit of a recce, moving these sheep through the gate. It's very useful because it helps me work out where I'm going to need to be to get the best shot of the action, but also it's quite good from a health and safety point of view, so I know where I can go, where they're going to be moving through, and you know what's safe. Recce completed. All that's left to do is round up the sheep. It's important to be decisive and know what you need to tell the story. Now I want to get a sequence of Adam feeding the pigs. So I'm just having a little think quickly about what I might need. He's obviously going to feed them from all this apple pulp here. So I want some close-ups of that. He's going to feed the piglets, so I want to make sure I get some nice close-ups of that. I want lots of shots of them eating. But I'll also get a nice big wide of this lovely landscape, and that'll get me out of jail. You know, it gives me something else to cut away to, so that, you know, we can change the scene or give it a nice finish.
Go for it. This is some apple pulp.
So I know I need loads of these shots of Adam, just with the apple feed and the apple.
This is some apple pulp. It's what's left over after a mate of mine crushes the apples to make juice.
All right, put it back again, Adam. With the main action covered, I need to think about cutaways. Cutaways are vital. You not only need them to help you tell your story, but you also need them to give you options in your edit and make your sequence visually interesting and dynamic. Always make sure you get the shot of what's been talked about. So Adam talked about apple feed, so I know I need to get lots of shots of apple feed and piglets eating apple feed. Those shots are going to be used a lot to cover that bit of sync from Adam. Adam, let's get you to do. I'm going to do a big wide of that as well.
Yeah.
So you don't actually need to feed them too much pulp if you think they've had enough. But if you just give them a bit more, I'm just going to get a really big wide. I'll give you a big cue, a big action when we're ready to roll. Okay, Adam. I find it helpful to think about a beginning, a middle and an end to each sequence. So I've started by setting my scene.
This is some apple pulp. It's what's left over after a mate of mine crushes the apples to make juice. And the pigs absolutely love it. It's about 7% protein, really good feed. There you go, girls.
Once the subject matter, apple pulp, has been introduced and established, it's time for some cutaways. Then I have enough footage which will be used for Adam's additional voiceover, which will give more details about the apple feed. And I've ended with some satisfied customers. It's very easy to get stuck in one position and try and get all your shots from there. But I think the best self-shooters are the ones who get mud on their boots and really move around. As much as you can, make sure you cover your story from lots of different angles, mixing up the style and the size of your shots. The more diverse your footage, the more interesting your sequence will be. Some filming situations can feel a little overwhelming, but you still need to be in control. Do you mind taking it over there for me? But don't actually throw it in, so I can catch up with you and get a close-up. You have to choose your moments to be able to do things again. Earlier in the fields with the sheep being rounded up, I knew I could only do that once. But with 4 different pens of pigs, I know I've got a chance to ask Adam to do things a second or third time. It's very easy to get carried away and overshoot, but I'm always thinking about the sequence. And so I think, Does this shot work in the sequence? Where would it go? Is it going to be useful? There's no point just rolling and clogging up the edit with stuff that's never going to get used. It's a good tip to try and get yourself some edit experience before you start self-shooting, so you can see what shots get used up and why. The more time in the edit you get, the better you'll understand what's needed for shooting actuality.
You happy with that? Yeah, it's pretty cool.